God of War Ragnarok still one of Sony's best games 1 year later? Now, I'm making this video of God of War Ragnarok 1 year later. I am going to publish it a little later though, so you guys may be seeing this either 2 weeks or maybe 1 week after the actual anniversary of God of War Ragnarok, because I was going to release it on the actual anniversary, but I've done about 3 to 5 videos that I've lined up, and I think I was going to release the GTA related videos first and the Sony discussion videos first, so I will be releasing the Ragnarok one probably a little later, but just depending on when you guys see this, just in case, I'm letting you know that it may not technically be 1 year after. It'll be like 1 year in a week or so. But again, let's get into this video. Now, while it was undoubtedly a difficult task to match the success of God of War 2018, let alone improve on it, I think Santa Monica Studios rose to the occasion. And on November 9th, 2022, they were able to release sequel to God of War 2018, which by many, probably we would say reviews and expectations, scores, and after the dust settled, many of us agreed that it was actually a better product than God of War 2018. I think the only debate was up with regards to the story, which is something we've seen with other titles that Sony has done, sequels, be it Horizon Forbidden West being the sequel to Zero Dawn, Spider-Man 2, now just recently, the sequel to Spider-Man 2018, The Last of Us 2 being the sequel to the original Last of Us, and many more down the pipeline. But now, from a gameplay perspective, for me, I think depth was added via, we not only got new realms to explore, we got another weapon for Kratos called the Draupnir Spear, and we basically were able to play Atreus segments and also gained access to entirely optional areas full of intriguing lore, like we saw with the crater area, which for me was the most intriguing in my opinion, because I kind of got lost in a lot of the combat in the crater and was able to just roam around that area endlessly, to the point where I remember I think I actually delayed going on to the main story missions because I wanted to just explore and see everything that was in the crater. That was, of course, possible within the limits of where I was in the story at that time. Now, I think a lot of these new areas helped God of War Ragnarok's story as well. And we also saw phenomenal performances from actors like Christopher Judge, who made moments like Kratos' death and the logger story even more poignant. 1 year later, the game remains incredible in my opinion. Now, we have had recent rumors about a God of War Ragnarok half sequel instead of a heavily requested DLC for the award-winning PlayStation exclusive. Supposedly, Santa Monica Studios is thinking of making another game in the same vein as a Spider-Man Miles Morales or an Uncharted Lost Legacy, which means that this would likely be a shorter game that just reuses several areas from God of War Ragnarok, but presents an entirely new angle in the story, supposedly with a new protagonist. Again, in Uncharted Lost Legacy, we got to play as Chloe and Nadine, and we saw that aspect of the story. And then in Spider-Man Miles Morales, of course, we got to play as Miles, rather than focusing the story on Peter. So the thoughts would be that if Ragnarok was to get a Half-Life sequel, we would probably be playing as Atreus, right? Now, none of these rumors have been confirmed yet by sources in Sony, but there has been hiring posts and, the usual things that pop up on LinkedIn and news blogs and stuff like that. So we do know that they're working on something. It's just unconfirmed whether it's going to be DLC or whether it's going to be this half sequel type thing. But there is rumors that the potential reveal could be coming at the Game Awards. Now, that's also been linked to the reveal for the GTA 6 trailer, which a lot of people are also saying may come at the Game Awards. But knowing Rockstar, they probably just prefer to do their own thing, so I'm not too sure if Rockstar would do something at the Game Awards, because it would be good exposure for them, but they would simultaneously just steal the show from everything else that's announced at the Game Awards. And I also think The Last of Us Naughty Dog wanted to announce The Last of Us Remaster at the Game Awards, but I think because that news and trailer was leaked early, they kind of forced their hand and had to, jump the gun rather than actually announce at the Game Awards. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, many fans may be eager to jump to a new mythology, I think. But I think it's way too early to even start thinking about the next actual installment of God of War. Because again, there was 4 years between 2018 to Ragnarok. So I think we can expect another 4 to 5 year cycle between Ragnarok and the next installment. That's why, again, people are leaning to maybe another Half-Life sequel, DLC type installment. Because again, a lot of loose ends were left at the end of Ragnarok. A lot of loose ends. Because again, that's one of the criticisms that people had with the story, that the story kind of got rushed towards the end. It wasn't really paced properly as we saw the pacing of like the early chapters of the game. So that again lends to the theory of the potential DLC. Because again, last time we saw Atreus, he was expected to lead the semi-sequel in God of War. He was off to a mission to find and help other giants. And again, this simple task could theoretically be the focus of a fully fledged God of War release. Because again, Kratos and Atreus' goal in the original game was remarkably simple. They just wanted to go spread some ashes. And it turned into a whole adventure and everything like that. So again, we could see Atreus and Angrboda probably go off on their own little adventure to go help the giants. And it turns into a whole new, they introduce us to a whole new cast of characters and, environments and everything like that. Even just like smaller Norse realms. Because again, a smaller game would serve as an epilogue basically to Santa Monica's Norse saga before we start nearing the end of the series' Norse arc. Because again, Santa Monica did confirm that they're coming to the end of the Norse arc, but they didn't confirm whether or not Ragnarok was the actual end. Or so like in the next game, would we start off in a continuation of the Norse arc as we switch to another realm, or would we immediately just boom, start off in a whole new era, kind of like what happened with God of War 2018, where that started off the new saga, essentially. Now again, not only does Atreus' mission make sense for a smaller spin-off, but I think there are just several plot points that Santa Monica can expand on if it spends more time within the mythology, as opposed to like straight up just leaving again, like I was saying, and starting the new mythology and leaving a lot of those unanswered questions. And again, one of the biggest things that fans are wondering about is who blew the horn to summon the world serpent in the original game. Because again, God of War Ragnarok does not answer this. And if the series jumped to another mythology, it could probably never get the chance to do so. So again, sticking with the Norse era for a smaller in-between game for me gives Sony Santa Monica one more chance to provide answers, whether it was Baldur, Kratos, all sorts of just different questions, or even just give us a time-traveling Loki to try and make sure, everything just gets tied up, all the loose ends get closed. But again, there could be some key characters that could be explored further through the Norse game. Like I was saying, Angrboda, Atreus' new world, she's part of it. Thrud is also clearly happy in her homeland, so she's also part of this new world. And she now wields Mjolnir, letting her team up with Atreus again. Could also explore a new angle as she now learns to take over in the footsteps of her dad Thor. And additionally, we could also see the continuation of Sindri's story, because Sindri again lost Brock, and he could potentially move to a new setting, sort of taking a new, how do I say this, a new challenge, or just a new, like a refresh in what happened to the devastating events at the end of Ragnarok. Whether or not Sindri fights Atreus to the death, or maybe forgives him, or, you know, we get some sort of closure, basically, for the once loving dwarf. And that's something they could, again, tie up in a spin-off, right? Rather than, like, force it and shoehorn it into a new entry. But in any case, I just wanted to make this little quick video just to discuss Ragnarok 1 year later. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do you still think it's one of Sony's best exclusives to date? What did you actually think of the story? Because again, this is something I never managed to explore on my main channel when I did the playthrough and I did a little review. I never really asked people what they thought of the story, what they thought of the gameplay. I was just going off of basically, you know, general comments from like the review scores and everything like that. So again, just let me know, where do you think Sony Santa Monica should take the story? Do you think a half sequel would be a good idea, or do you think they should just do a very small DLC that doesn't necessarily have to, you know, expand on much? Let me know in the comments below. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, stay dangerous. And again, hope you're celebrating Ragnarok on its first birthday. And peace out.
Reinforce the pie! Lock me out! They just keep coming!
It's a bear trap! Spawning of little wretches like there's no tomorrow! For her, it will be so! Hey, left flank!